Hey y'all, I am so excited to put out a new YouTube video. Man, we're gonna have some good soul discussion right here as I journal in the park. And I had put down some thoughts that I know God was placing on my heart, and something just told me, you know what, put the camera on and share what you're journaling with the people, and maybe it can really just bless them, and maybe we can create this community where we don't feel alone. And that's kind of even more of one of the reasons why I wanted to share. I wanted to share what I was journaling because I don't want you to feel alone. How many of you out there have truly been in a season or currently in a season where you are balancing being happy, hurt, and healing? Like, how in the world do you balance all three? How in the world do you navigate through all three? And I'm telling you right now, you can be in a season happy, hurting, and healing. It can be one of the most beautiful seasons of your life. Because one thing about it is that when you embrace that, you can go from that happiness with right within that joy, and then go into those hurting moments where you have to feel that hurt in order to get through it and over it, to then be healing all at the same time. Like, God, how in the world are you gonna allow me to do that? And I'm telling you, God has shown me that balancing all of three of those emotions makes you better. It makes you more equipped to handle the next season that He's preparing you for. It makes you equipped to handle the increase that you've been praying for. Being able to balance all three, it truly transforms how you show up in front of people, how you show up for yourself, as well as how you show up for the person that you're becoming. So many of us have carried joy, hurt, and recovery at the same time. One thing I've had to learn is that yeah, I'm talking to you. You can embrace all three in order to reach full identity. So I believe that you can truly find identity in discovering, like, wow, I know who I am when I'm happy. I know how it is to choose joy even when everything around me doesn't give me a reason to smile. I know what it is to admit when I'm hurting, admit that I'm not okay, so that way I can actually process what that feels like, so that now I can step into this healing season and be able to recover from the things that already almost broke me. So one thing about hurt is that it allows you to feel the depths of how deep your heart really is. And I just want to kind of marinate on that real quick, because there have been times or heartbreaks, especially the one that I feel right now, where I have just had to be in a moment where I had to admit that it's still affecting me, admit that I still miss this person, admit that that it's still difficult to be able to admit that you're still in love with somebody that you know that you're not meant to be with. Like, that is very, very difficult to navigate that emotion. And it's like, but the minute you address it and you don't run from it and you're honest about it, is the minute the real healing can start to begin. So I had to realize that I can't be in denial about the hurt that I'm feeling, that I can't be in denial about the fact that I wish it was different. I can't be in denial about the fact that I wish that things had worked out the way that I imagined it. That somehow you almost feel robbed of an emotion that you once felt was forever, to now realize that it's not your forever. And that is really hard to face and to admit to. But the minute you admit to it, man, do you heal in a different way. You heal in a way where you show yourself what you're capable of. You show yourself that, man, I can truly love hard. I may have been loving the wrong person, but I really have the ability to love so hard and so beautiful that, man, I'm gonna make the right person really happy one day. That I've given love away so many times to people who were just right for that season, but they weren't truly right for me. And once I've been able to accept the hurt of what that feels like, I now can step into the benefits and the peace that comes with healing. The peace that comes with knowing, like, man, I can feel this hurt, but I'm also knowing that just because I'm not staying there, I'm not, I would say, being stuck. I'm not staying stuck is the only way that I'm going to get through it. I got to put one foot in front of the other. I got to move forward despite how bad it hurts. Like life, one thing about life is always going to teach you that it's going to keep going regardless if somebody broke your heart. It is going to keep going. And that's one thing I've had to realize in this season that I'm in, is that life is going to keep going. Time is going to keep ticking whether you want to move or not. So you cannot afford to just sit around and wallow in self-pity and self-doubt and making yourself believe that you weren't good enough to make the relationship work when you know that you are good enough. You were just being all that you could be for the person that is not, in a forever sense, right for you. Now, one thing that I've learned about how deep my heart can go is that if it can go so deep for another person, man, what could happen if I could apply that same love back to myself? And I think through heartbreak, a lot of us rediscover how to love ourselves better again. It's like without heartbreak, we were never able to realize that we neglected our identity. We neglected that love that we needed to show ourselves in order to be able to go to the next level. We neglected our real identity because we got caught up in the identity of the person that we were loving. We even neglected those things. So it's like through heartbreak, you get to relearn what it is to really love yourself, fall back in love with yourself, treat yourself with the utmost respect, and give yourself everything others failed to give you. Like everything that I can imagine that I felt like I wasn't getting in past relationships, when I can marinate that on that and say, you know what, I can actually give that back to myself, and that it's okay if they didn't do it for me. I can give it to me. And the beauty about when I give it to me, I'm going to give it to me in the best way, because I'm going to give it to me exactly how I know that I deserve to be loved. I'm going to love me in every way others could not. And it's going to become so much better coming from myself, because nobody can treat you like you can treat you. Nobody can love on you like you can love on you. Nobody can root for you like you can root for you. And I think sometimes we put so much value in the benefits and the joy that it comes with somebody validating us and loving on us, that it's like when that love is taken away, we truly don't know what our own self-love looks like. We fully lose sight of it to the point where we don't have identity without that person loving us. And I had to learn, like Kendra, if this man don't ever love you another day in his life, you are enough, you are worthy, you're special, you're powerful, you mean something to the earth. And once I was able to realize that, it was like my mind opened up a window of just so much joy, so much peace, so much reassurance to know that I can validate myself in every way that men failed to validate me, and that it failed for a reason, that things didn't work out for a reason, and that I'm still able to heal even when I wish things were different. I'm still able to heal even when a piece of me feels a little bit empty, even when a piece of me feels a little bit confused. I'm still able to heal during all of that. And so the best way to navigate happiness, hurt, and healing is to truly embrace every emotion as it comes. Don't hide from it. Don't deny it. Don't let your pride take over and rob you of that moment. Like, just bask in the moment of what each emotion feels like when it comes to you. And always remember gratitude. Remember that no matter how crazy life is, I always have a list of things that I can be grateful for, that I can really be proud of. And one thing that's helped me, and I also journaled about it since we're having a journal discussion, I journaled about some of the answered prayers. And I'd rather not share them just because they're personal to me. But some of the answered prayers that God has done so far this year, like I wrote it down, right? And when I wrote it down, it was like I was reminding myself, man, God has been so good. He's answered prayers that I didn't even imagine him answering at the time that he answered them, because we all know God's timing is never our timing. So it's like, once I wrote down all the answered prayers of this year, I realized, like, wow, God, I've been listing all the things that are going wrong in my mind that I haven't yet to sit down to just really just bask in how good you've been already this year. Like, I know the things that I want and I desire, but sometimes we fail in those happy, hurting, healing seasons to choose gratitude, to remember that God has been good, to remember that he really is answering our prayers. And it takes sometimes for you to just sit in those quiet moments, to write those answered prayers down, to remember just how blessed you really are. And then I think another thing that will help you when you're going through a happy, hurting, and healing season is write down the goals of where you want to go in the next quarter of this year or the next month, and what are the things that you want to accomplish short term. And once you write those short term goals, hold yourself accountable for them. Don't stress yourself out about, a specific timeline, but hold yourself accountable to the goals that you know that God can give you. Because if on the last page you just wrote down your answered prayers, there's no way that you can't challenge him for the things that you know that you want to attain, that you want to reach, the goals that you want to reach. And once I started writing those goals down, it allowed me to say that, man, I've come a very long way, but in my healing season, this is the goals that I really want to accomplish, to go to the next level. And before I end this video, I just want you to just remember that happiness is a choice. There is nothing wrong with not being okay. It's okay to admit that and to feel that and to not deny what that hurt feels like. It's okay to cry uncontrollably when it doesn't make sense. It's okay to pray through the tears. It's okay to call somebody for extra support that you know will listen to you. It's okay to let others in when you feel like your hurting just feels way too painful. It's okay to let others in. It's okay to have a community. And most importantly, it's okay to heal all at the same time, to move forward, to not allow that heartbreak to have you stuck, to have you still, to have you in a place where you're complacent. Learn from the hurt. Learn from the things that have broken you. Learn from it and grow into the person that you always imagined yourself being. And most importantly, choose isolation. Anytime you feel overwhelmed and you feel like the world is just way too loud and you got too much on your plate, find quiet moments with nothing on your agenda but things that really just make you happy and bring you peace and allow you to hear your thoughts and allow you to pray and just spend time with God and just have that quiet time with God and yourself. Like, you gotta, no matter how busy your schedule is, you gotta just carve out an hour or two a day, uninterrupted time with yourself, where you're doing something that really just brings that joy and brings that peace back into your space. Because if you're a mother, if you're a career woman, if you're somebody who runs a whole household, runs a business, you can get really busy not taking care of you, not spending time with God. And that's when those happy, hurting, healing seasons are the most difficult, is when you block out God, when you try to convince yourself that you can do it all by yourself. We know you can't, sis, so stop trying to pretend like you can. Like, you're strong, but you ain't that strong without him. You're nothing without Jesus. And that's one thing I've had to realize, is that I don't matter without the King shining his light on me, without him working through me for me to be the very best. I am nobody without Jesus Christ. Like, literally nobody. And I think once you realize that, you're going to go to the next level, sis. You're going to truly realize, like, I give God all the credit. I know a lot of us want to self-absorb and we really want to just give ourselves the credit. But, man, I got to be honest with you. A lot of the things that I've been able to do and accomplish and get through, I know for a fact it wasn't my own human strength. It was nothing but a Savior who loved on me and shined his light on me and kept me when I didn't feel like I could be kept. Like, That is pure love. And to be loved like that every day is one of the most beautiful feelings I've ever felt. To be loved by Jesus every day is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And I hope that anybody can open their hearts to feel that, because Jesus, in my opinion, can only be experienced. He's more than words. He's more than mere testimonies. He's an experience. He is a true experience. And when you taste and see the goodness of the Lord, you will never be the same. Trust me, you'll never be the same. You may try to go back to the old you, but man, he gonna have a hold on you. He gonna chase after you, and he's gonna remind you that you're nothing without him. I love you guys. I hope that this blessed you. I hope that if you're happy, if you're hurting, if you're healing, I hope that you embrace what that feels like. Loving yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And I'll see you next time. Bye.